Well, thank you, Jay, for giving a Zoom tutorial. I want everyone to be comfortable being in this room, knowing, what to do and, when to do, how to do. And so, well, first of all, thank you very much for, joining our self-care party on a rainy Sunday afternoon. And um, my name is Magane Megu Koshimura. I'm a member of Unity Temple Unitarian Universalist Congregation Mental Health Awareness Team, My Hat. So, as you may be aware, this month, May, is the month of mental health awareness. So, in 1949, Mental Health Awareness Month was created in order to raise awareness about the importance of mental health and to stop the stigma associated with mental health. And so my hat, Mental Health Awareness Team, was created in 2014, 2015 at Unity Temple to welcome people living with mental illness and those who care about them, creating a community of acknowledgement, acceptance, and understanding. And for the last couple of years, we have a small support group, which meets every month, every fourth Monday from 7 to 9. We have during the summer, we have mental health Sunday service. In winter, we have done recover events, which is recovery through arts in collaboration with NAMI, National Alliance of Mental Illness, Metro Suburban branch, and also Oak Park Village uh, addiction recovery team. And then around this time, in the past, we did my had tea party. So having a cup of tea, some finger size, snacks. We were informed of the services and resources from the local agencies which provide mental health services. But this year we thought, let's do something else. And so healthcare party was discussed and approved actually before the pandemic. And so initially we were gonna do this, at the our beautiful, Unity Temple, Unity House, and then this pandemic started in early March, and then our session facilitators, five of us, I'm going to introduce them shortly. They are gracefully accepting to doing the sessions virtually. So self-care party. Why self-care party? I'm going to have the Charles to speak of this in a short while. And we are under the stay-at-home order. We are stressed, and also people who are essential workers, who work on the front lines. I can imagine how their lives have been very stressed, anxious, possibly depressed, all that. And we all need to take care of ourselves before we are going to be in service to others. So this idea came out, and then we are here together to do this. Um, so I think I'm going to have Charles to explain what healthcare is and why healthcare is important. So Charles Topi, please.
Thank you, Magana Koshimura. Hi, everybody. I am Charles. Thank you, Magana, for the intro. Thank you, Jay, for helping us with the Zoom information. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about what is self-care and why do I think that we need it. Here's what I see as the challenge. We're asked to care all the time. Loved ones, family, friends, coworkers, customers, clients. We're asked to care for the other, the starving child, the disaster victim. We're asked to donate our time and our energy and our money, while we're also having to care for our homes, for our neighborhood, for the country, for the planet. Other than that, we're also under constant demand to reply to that text or that email or social media post that we've been tagged on. Watch this video, listen to this song, even go to this self-care party. Even sometimes that can feel like a burden. So why do we need self-care? What is self-care? I would frame it's any healthy activity that helps us to take care of our physical, mental, emotional, and or spiritual health. I was thinking about it. I see it as sort of what my grandmother or grandfather did for me when I was in pain. And can any of you remember that? Just a time maybe where you went to a beloved grandparent, in a time of need. It's carving out time to refresh and renew. For me, it's about saying no for a time to other demands and saying yes to caring about myself. It's about healthy boundaries, about taking a moment away from, supporting, helping, rescuing everyone else and solving the world's problems. It could be a 5-minute break to say, get up from your chair, focus on your breathing, stretching, actually slowing down and tasting the food you're eating. It also has, I think, repercussions in this idea of flow, where we have moments where we lose track of time, where our abilities and the demands of a task are exactly equal. It can be said that it's in the phrase, follow your bliss, care for your soul. This idea of cultivating and nurturing that garden that is your true self with a capital S. It's about, as we say in human services, putting on, like in an airplane, putting on your mask first before you help other people. It's about filling your cup up first so that you can share that cup with others and not give someone an empty cup. It's about iterating it on a day-to-day level. It's about modeling it for others. So what's the risk if we don't practice self-care? In my experience, it's resentment, it's shame and guilt, it's getting tied up in unhealthy strivings for perfection. It can lead to toxic anger. And it can lead to us having quiet lives of desperation, about having compassion fatigue, about experiencing what's called, I've heard recently, secondary trauma, like secondhand smoke, that we take on the pain of others and actually experience trauma ourselves. It can lead to poor health and addictions, and it can lead to abuse and violence. So if we do make the time for self-care, it fosters an opportunity for what I've heard called recently, and I love this, healing engaged community. Mm-hmm. And that's some of what my hat I see is doing, what UUC is doing, the congregation. It's what my organization, Creative Artists and Activists in Service Together, is attempting to do, which is to make this balance between sanctuary, healing, engagement, and activism, in our case through CAST, through the arts. A little more about that. We want to continue to support the supporters, especially people in the helping professions and activists, people who are on the front lines of supporting other people and of social change. We want to acknowledge and help heal our hurts and our traumas together. And again, from the CAST perspective, we want to continue promoting recovery through the arts in our homes, our communities, our schools, on the planet. And we invite creative artists and our allies to use their art, or the art that is your life, to support causes that, quote, bend the arc of the moral universe towards justice. So thanks everybody for being here for yourself, which interestingly enough puts you in a better place to be of support to others. So thanks everybody, and just so pleased to be here. Back to you, Magane.
Okay, I forgot to unmute myself. Well, thank you, Charles, for explaining what self-care is and why it is important. It speaks so much to me and to us. Before I'm going to explain the program, I don't know if Alan or Senior Minister Reverend Alan Taylor is here. I'm not sure if he would like to speak a little bit. And Alan, would you mind maybe just saying hello to everyone?
Sure. No, I'm just delighted with your leadership, Magane. And this offering is really a critical thing for our community. And I anticipate we may have a number of people signing in who are currently at the board chat. And I'm just delighted to be here to be able to join you all for this experience and take a little rest myself with you to to rest into this time with you all. So it's great to see all your faces, and thank you all who are participating to make this possible. And Magane, especially, thanks to you for pulling it all together.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for kind words. So I know you are anxious to do some activities, and so Jay, would you mind putting up the I know I call the program, but so we have 5 facilitated sessions. This is what so Jay Cohen is going to provide guided meditation. Teresa Hyde Murray will do chair yoga. And Kyla Marie Gilmore will do dance body movement, and Victoria Storm will do music chant, and Charles Toby will do drumming exercises. So they rotate every 50 minutes. So you are going to stay on, and you can experience all those 5 sessions. It's about 15 minutes. And then at the end, I know we like to talk. So hopefully we can do large or small group discussions about self-care, maybe about 50 minutes, and then come back to the large group and then just wrap up. So that's our plan. And so I would like to introduce Jay Cohen. I have to ask Jay to pull up the PowerPoint again. So Jay Cohen is one of the pastoral associates at Unity Temple. He has a background in social work and has been one of the facilitators of the Mindful Reflection community since it began in 2014. He has been on several silent retreats for himself, has given Dharma talks to various groups. He has also been a part of the My Hat support group, and he's looking forward to the self-care party. Well, thank you, Jay. So looking forward to the meditation. You're welcome.
So when Magane asked me to do this, it was the word mindfulness and the word meditation has a lot of meanings right now, and it's been used a lot in the last 10 years. And if you probably asked 100 people, you might get 100 different versions of what mindfulness is and what meditation is. So I just want to sort of be clear the way I'm thinking about it, and then we're going to do a little a guided meditation to sort of begin that. So when I think of mindfulness, this is sort of in the insight meditation lineage of it's really watching how my mind works so that I can learn to live more skillfully. It's not just about letting everything be or floating away or being beside myself. It's really being with myself, learning how I'm reacting, teaching myself how I can react differently, maybe doing a deeper healing, not all in this little sit, but in the deeper practice. Doing a deeper healing so I can live more skillfully. So there's a lot of insight. There's some psychology that is done with it. So it's a more of a secular meditation practice. I do also want to mention that there's a lot of ways of being mindful. Sitting is one way of doing it. It's one way that helps a lot of people because we're so focused in that moment on what we're doing. But we can be mindful. We can pause anytime while we're walking, we can pause our minds and be mindful while we're walking, while we're cooking, while we're showering, while we're doing a jigsaw puzzle. There's many places and times in life we can drop in and do this practice. And so it's not just about sitting. I always like to say that. If you would then go ahead and close your eyes. We're just going to do a quick, maybe 10-minute at the most guided meditation. And there'll be a little time at the end for questions. So we always like to start with taking a few deep breaths. Many people like to use this breath as an anchor. So we can always come back to this. I like to say, breathe in life and breathe out love. Life is all that life brings us, and breathe out love. And the first step in mindfulness is to do a recognizing. It's a noticing practice. So the question is at the beginning, where are you breathing? Are you breathing into your chest, your lower chest, your belly? Are you using your nose, your mouth? Just notice. So many people use the breath and this noticing as the anchor. And I'm going to suggest some other possible anchors. It's also the one I actually use often is I like to feel my butt on the chair and my feet on the floor and the floor on the earth. And I just ground myself into my physical body being in the spot that it's in. And for me, that sometimes works better than my breath, just to anchor myself into being grounded. It's okay to have more than one anchor as long as they bring us back to the present moment. That's the goal. Just come back. And as a person, I have lived with a lot of physical discomfort in my life, and I sometimes find it very challenging to be in my body because my body's not always in a comfortable spot. And that can be physically and it can also be emotionally. And if it's really hard to be in the spot, then my anchor turns into compassion. I just say to myself, it's okay, or I'm here for you, or I am enough, or I love you. Something very gentle and very loving to bring me back to me. And I don't have to focus on my body if it's not a good day to focus on my body. I can focus on compassion. That's another anchor. And whatever anchors we're using right now, let's remember that this is not about the cessation of thinking. Thinking is part of being human, and it's virtually impossible to empty our minds completely and have zero thought for a sustained period. We will be thinking. So the beginning of a recognition practice, the beginning of mindfulness to see how our minds work is noticing the thinking and noting it and labeling it. Two of my favorite words for the noting practice are past and future. So my thoughts go somewhere, I notice I'm doing it, and I just say the word past and come back to my breath or my body or my compassion. Or I say the word future and come back. So let's be silent for maybe 2 minutes and try that. a few more suggestions other than past and future. We can also use specific emotions like frustration or irritable or joy or planning or worry. Or we could just say the word story, past, story, and come back to the present, back to our anchor. Keep returning to this tone of easy presence. Get the taste of subtle pleasure just being with awareness. You are always enough. You are always enough. All of us are always enough. So let's end by taking a few deep breaths and reminding ourselves that the beauty we long for is already here. The beauty we long for is already here. And we can rest in this quiet presence. When you're ready, you can open your eyes and gently come back. I forgot to put a bell next to me, but I'm ringing a bell. Ding. Namaste. Thank you for that.